Please forgive the Star Wars type introduction, but if you read it through quickly, you will find out who we are and why we're in the situation of converting a van to a motorhome. We are a couple of old codgers, Linda and I. By the way, I'm Robert. We decided to convert a L4 H2 Peugeot Boxer professional van into a motorhome for our retirement. And this is a quick story as to how we came about doing this. We hope you enjoy it. We first started our first fix by stripping out the inside of the van, the plywood, the bulkhead, which all came away fairly easily, but left us with 3 years of dirt and grime that we had to clear out. Fitting the windows was sort of scary, but when you actually started, wasn't just as bad as we really thought it would be. The glue worked really well, and it was okay. Whilst we were on our cutting wood, we decided it would be time to put a hole in the roof so that we could fit a fan above effectively our bedroom area. The floor was duly strapped out with 25 mils of insulation, all finished off with aluminium tape as a vapour barrier. You'll see around the walls and the floors we had also put sound deadening, straps along the walls for bedding, furniture, and of course the wall boards. The sides again were fitted with 50 millimetres of insulation and a vapour barrier, all taped off. Every time we've renovated something, be it a house or in this case a van, we always like to leave a blessing somewhere hidden underneath for everybody who will stay or use or be part of it in the future. And our motorhome was no exception. We also left a 25 millimetre section indented in the bedroom, as you can see there, for extra footroom and headroom in the bed, and that actually has worked quite well. So it was really quite useful that we headed along that particular route. The ceiling really got the same treatment as the walls, except we only used 25 mils of insulation, and the wall panelling was only 8 millimetres as opposed to everything else was 12. So that was how that went, and again, fitting the insulation in. It was reasonably challenging, but we got there in the end. We laid out the inside as a kind of mock how we envisaged things would go, with framing, bits for the bed, the cabinets for the walls. The difficulty was the walls aren't straight. They curve in and the ceiling curves in, and that made things harder to fit. So your best tool really was a set of compasses, enabling you to draw things out. But again, with a wee bit of eking and pushing and shoving, everything managed to get in the right place. The second fix really is the semi-finishing with the wall carpet and painting. Again, this was quite easy to fit, although it looks quite daunting, but if it's big areas, 2 people make it easier. And again, it's fairly easy to fit, in honesty. Electrics, they were okay. We put over 100 metres of cable, white cable for mains and black cable for DC. There are 2 110 volt, 110 amp deep cell batteries under the passenger seat. There's a solar panel offering 200 watts of power, and there's a split charger on the car so that the battery charges as you're driving along, with the various switches for pumps and showers and all the rest of it. On this wall here, you've got, from the bottom left, you've got a smoke alarm, a carbon monoxide monitor, then you've obviously got 2 13-amp sockets. You've got the 220 power switch for the hot water. Next to that, you've got a level gauges for the fresh water and the grey water, and above that, you've got the solar panel charging monitor station. Plumbing, that was not challenging, but fitting the tanks was challenging because you're lying underneath with a jack and axle stands, and it was really, really hard. So if you have the opportunity, get a ramp or a pit. That would make things so much easier. Absolutely so much easier. Fitting the water tank was straightforward. Cutting holes is always as scary, but it goes ahead. There's a wheel shower and a porta potty in the toilet. You can now see where the 10-litre water heater exit through the side of the van on the off side. The LPG, we opted for a 25-litre gasset system, which is underslung. We chose this because regardless of the country you're in, there's an adapter that can fit into the filler socket that allows you to get gas at a petrol station. There's also exit points under the water heater and the cooker for any excess gas to go through the floor. The finishing's straightforward with kitchen. We opted for, again, a full-size cooker, which we thought was better. We also discovered that when we fitted the turnaround seats, the captain's chairs, your feet were dangling, so we ended up having to make this small step and raising the platform where the table would go. We did find a wee bonus because we found a wee sneaky wee drawer where we could put bottles of wine, which was always useful. Our fridge is a 12-volt compressor fridge, which we thought was a useful thing to have. Again, because it switches on and off and is more easy on the battery. And there you can see there the solar panel charging unit. Mock-up for the bed, again going with the cables. Wee ducats on the back doors. And you see the edges of the not filled in yet. Lighting throughout. Filling the edging with, again, wool, and then finishing it off. DVLA required us to have more windows down one side. You require at least 2 windows down one side. So we ended up fitting a small window at the back where the bed would be. And while we were there, we thought to get more light in, we'd also fit windows in the back doors, which actually worked out, again, quite easy. Bit daunting, if I'm being really, really honest. The window has both a blackout and a mosquito screen in it. Our maiden voyage, we got set up, the van all packed, everything we thought we needed to go on our maiden voyage, and really just headed off into the blue yonder, as it were, raring to go. Whilst the boot or the luggage area in the back was fairly large, we did find out that we could fill it quite easily, and a small wardrobe, as you see. Let me explain the control panel, which is accessed from the boot or the garage at the back of the van. Starting top left, that's the pressure gauge for the air-assisted rear suspension, which sits at 30 psi and levels the van really, really well, and it really makes a difference for a smooth ride. The red switch is a 3-toggle switch, which is off, or 12 volts on, 12 volts on and charging, or charging only. The one to the right hand side is the shore switch, which puts the mains from the outside socket into the van, or if you turn it to the right, that invokes the inverter, switching off the 250 from the shore power. Series of switches underneath for various things like switching on the gas level monitor, which is the wee oblong one directly below the switch at the right hand side. The black switch at the left hand side is the gas switch for the 10-litre gas water heater. There's also a double socket there, and there's also a cigarette lighter socket, which we use for a wee fridge cool box thing we have. Not to mention where all the fuses and relays are, as well as the battery charger for when you've got shore power connected up, and a cover to tidy it all away. The canopy again gave us that extra bit of outside space and was well worth it. We discovered that we needed some additions following our maiden voyage. The very first one really was a heater. So we decided to install a 5 kilowatt Chinese diesel heater with the takeoff diesel going straight from the fuel tank. That was fitted under the driver's seat, and there you can see the wee pump for that, the air inlet and the exhaust well away so that you don't recycle any gas fumes. There's the isolation and the control switch. We only have one feed point into the living room, and that was worth it. We also fitted air suspension, which is terrific, a tow bar that we could use a trailer or, in this case, our bike. Rear cameras, a screen for the cameras, a jerry tank holder, and we decided the paneling at the side, the black paneling was slack and wiggly, so we took it all off and blind riveted them with M6 bolts, and then painted it all over with underseal, black paint, and then lacquer. And I think the effect is really quite good. Whilst in a painting mood, we opted for the black front, along with the compass graphics and the wee motorhome climbing up the wall. We added an additional USB socket near the cigarette lighter, a grab handle for coming in, a socket for the kettle up by the cooker. We changed the closing mechanisms for the door from push button to slide because it was more effective. The wheels from silver to black. DVLA did not like our compass graphics and refused to change from a van to a motor caravan. So we changed the graphics to a more motorhome style graphics, and they were absolutely happy with that and gave the classification change no problem. Putting the big sheets over that small window is hard, so the bubbles that are cut out are actually taking out crinkly bits that were in that. And whilst we were there, we thought we'd just put a real logo in it. This is Linda and I. So thank you for watching this. We hope to see you en route sometime, and if we do, please stop and we'll have a glass of wine or a coffee together. So that's the two old codgers in HARVE. Say hello to us, and thank you for watching.